music can only mean one thing. We're going to talk about music a little bit. We're going to check in on Freddie Spaghetti, and we're going to play a song. During last week's show, I identified key parameters to zero in on the various tributaries or little sections of the music industry's $18.3 billion in revenue, and streaming's huge lion's share of that $15.4 billion portion. So let's start there. To stream over $15 billion of music, how does that happen? More specifically, how exactly are people consuming music today? There's a really great article by Andrew Southworth in Music Marketing Monday regarding this, and I'll paraphrase from the article. It's quite long, so I'll just break it down into a few points. His contention is people consume music in a few ways. One, they find it on social media, either from the artists themselves or someone else. Two, it gets recommended to them on a DSP they subscribe to. This might be a recommendation, it might be a playlist, or maybe it's an artist's advertising. Third, a friend tells them to check a song out, or maybe an artist. Four, they don't create content on social media, but they consume it every day, so it makes sense that social media would be such a large part of how they find and locate music. Consumers also regularly share music back and forth with other consumers. They might also discover music through Spotify's recommendations. That's a big one. They don't actively play any algorithmic playlists on purpose, but after finishing a release or playlist, Spotify's radio autoplay takes over, and that's big. It pushes new music their way. Again, it's kind of advertising, but it's coming at the consumer when they're on Spotify. The consumer does not go to an artist or album and binge stream them. This is different from the way it used to be pre-streaming. When they find something they like, they do one of two things. They like the song, so it gets added to their liked songs. Or they like the song and they add it to the library playlist, their own personal playlist library. Then when they listen to the music, they simply go to their own playlist and play it on shuffle. Remember, I did a show that compared the personal playlist of today to the old artist album of before. Today, albums really are people's playlists. It's just that now it's not one artist, it's a whole bunch of them. Consumers almost never listen to more than one or two songs back to back by the same artist. That, to me, is a big one. These playlists can be hundreds of songs long, and songs are there indefinitely, never to be removed. This gravitational pull toward and usage of streaming and DSPs is more or less echoed in a report by the International Federation of Phonographic Industry, or IFPI. We've talked about them before. The IFPI report asked 43,000 people across 26 countries how they experienced music. And what they said was basically more or less similar to the article I just cited. 32% audio streaming, which includes both free and subscription tiers to Spotify, Apple, and so forth. 31% video streaming, including long and short-term videos on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. 17% experience music through radio, and that includes both terrestrial, broadcast, and internet. And 9%, old school, purchase their music, which includes mostly physical products like CDs and vinyl cassettes. And 4%, live music, including at a venue or live streaming. Okay, we now have a general idea regarding how people are consuming music, and specifically streaming. But how much do the heaviest buyers spend annually? And what about the low spenders? There must be a dichotomy there. There's a differential, right? There's people that spend a lot, people that don't spend much, but they're all spending something. Next week, I'm going to take a look at that. Music consumers are more polygamous with regard to artists and even genres than ever before.
Okay, now it's time for one of Paul's songs. Paul, over to you.
As the very first day of the work week, Mondays sometimes get a bad rap. After listening to the song Manic Monday, I thought, why not write a song with all the good elements of Mondays? Yeah, it's the start of the work week, but Mondays also hold a lot of promise, some excitement, some mystery about what might be coming up in the days ahead. Been some talk, folks writing songs. Mondays, manic, don't belong. The other work days are somehow fine, easy on the daily grind. But I like Mondays, tell you why. Full of promise, where mysteries lie. Like Fridays too, don't get me wrong. But Mondays, that's where dreams belong. Make it Monday. Heading in right now to earn my pay. Monday's only day the boss is late. And Monday's when that new girl drops by and takes my breath away. Some will say they like the end, money earned, money spent. Not me, no sir, prefer the ride. No beginning in the journey slides. Make it Monday. Early in the morning, coffee's poured. Monday's when everything seems new again. And Monday's when water cooler told you so's for games the day before. There it is, I've said my piece. Brand new start, brand new week. As Freddie walks into the Delta offices for his 10 a.m. meeting with Rob Del Roy, he thinks about the past few weeks of travel and performing. The tour's done. Freddie can only guess at the thousands of miles he's driven and the number of motels and hotels he's stayed at. Freddie enters the office and waves hi to the receptionist, goes to sit down when Del Roy comes running out to greet him, and the two retire to Del Roy's office. Rob's not one to give compliments out easily, but on this day he does. Freddie, we couldn't be happier with the arrangement so far. Freddie generally knows the details of the tour, but Del Roy goes through a brief recap. We had venues ranging from 1 to 400 seats, excluding that second Erie show. We weren't at capacity for all of them, but we were over 80%. Not bad. We had a bit over 2,300 patrons in all, averaging $45 a ticket, and for merch also. We put a huge push on the merch. Yeah, Freddie nods excitedly. Every show, it was great. Del Roy goes on. Anyway, our gross was about $104,000. Our expenses, hall rentals, the car, backup musicians, and motels, about $9,000. And our cut leaves you with about $40,000. Some of that should be in your account already? Freddie nods. After Del Roy completed his summary and without the slightest pause, he continues. We'd like you to do a 6-month tour, and your bass player and vocalist will be with you in all the shows. The halls are going to be larger too. Del Roy has given his pitch, and when he's done speaking, he squints at Freddie as if waiting for a reaction, an objection, maybe a comment. Freddie still considers himself a novice and fortunate to be with Delta, so during the meeting he just nods and smiles a lot. Freddie says very little that morning and goes along with everything Rob says. No objections, no comments by Freddie. It's not until he's driving home and begins to think about what Rob Del Roy has said, Freddie shakes his head. Wow, 6 months. 6 months! That's a long time. I mean, really long. What about Britt? What about buying a house? And then he has thought, 6 months is long, but hey, maybe if I can come back every couple of weeks. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll call tomorrow and get the regular tour breaks in there and we can do 6 months. No problem. The new tour isn't due to begin for a few weeks, so Freddie sees some daylight regarding a few of his concerns. I've got a lot of time to straighten some stuff out right now. He's going to buy that house. He'll propose to Brittany. He's going to invite his family and friends over for a huge celebration. These ideas assuage the young musician's mind. And yet the idea of being away so long, it's still weighing on him. At the next meeting, Freddie voices his concerns, but Rob insists that the second tour wouldn't leave an awful lot of time to get back home. There are venues and hotels to book, promotional campaigns to create, and money to be invested. The two men debated. Finally, Delroy relented slightly, allowing for 2 small windows to come back home. He'd include 2 tour breaks each for a few days during the first part of the schedule, and then after that, well, we'll see. One was in week 10, and the other was week 15. Not perfect, Freddie thought, but heck, a few more months out there won't hurt. The papers were drawn up. Freddie was about to embark on a second tour.
On behalf of Paul and Ryan Tunes, thank you for listening to this week's Sound Threads. Please check us out next week for another round of Sound Threads.